Summary of Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. In Dare to Lead, Brené Brown challenges traditional notions of leadership by redefining it as the ability to cultivate courage, foster connection, and embrace vulnerability. Drawing on decades of research, Brown provides actionable insights for building strong, human-centered leadership that is rooted in authenticity, empathy, and trust. The book is a guide for leaders at all levels who want to create cultures of innovation, collaboration, and belonging. The core of courageous leadership. Brown begins by emphasizing that courage is the foundation of effective leadership. Contrary to the common misconception that courage is an innate quality, she argues that it is a skill that can be cultivated through practice. Courage, she asserts, is not about heroic acts, but about showing up, being fully present, and engaging in difficult conversations. A critical component of courage is vulnerability, which Brown defines as the willingness to risk uncertainty, exposure, and emotional discomfort. Far from being a weakness, vulnerability is a powerful asset in leadership. It allows leaders to connect with their teams, build trust, and foster creativity. Vulnerable leaders are not afraid to admit mistakes, seek feedback, or say, "I don't know." This openness creates a safe environment where others feel empowered to take risks and innovate.
Rumbling with vulnerability.
Brown introduces the concept of rumbling with vulnerability, a practice that involves engaging in honest, productive conversations, even when they are uncomfortable. She outlines 4 skill sets that underpin courageous leadership. 1. Rumbling with vulnerability, facing uncertainty, fear, and tough emotions head-on. 2. Living into your values, identifying core values and aligning actions with those values. 3. Braving trust, building trust through consistent actions, honesty, and accountability. 4. Learning to rise, developing resilience to recover from failures and setbacks. Brown emphasizes that vulnerability is the entry point to all of these skills. Without vulnerability, it is impossible to have authentic connections, make value-driven decisions, or build trust. Leaders must embrace vulnerability as a strength rather than a liability. Building trust with braving. Trust is the glue of any successful team or organization, and Brown offers a framework called Braving to help leaders understand and build trust. Braving stands for boundaries, respecting personal and professional limits; reliability, being dependable and following through on commitments; accountability, taking responsibility for mistakes and making amends; vault, keeping confidences and respecting privacy; integrity, acting in alignment with core values; non-judgment, creating a judgment-free space where team members feel safe to share; generosity, extending the most generous interpretation of others' intentions. Brown argues that trust is built incrementally through small, consistent actions. Leaders must model these behaviors to create a culture where trust thrives. Living into your values. Brown challenges leaders to identify their core values, the principles that guide their decisions and actions. Living into one's values means acting consistently with these principles, even when it is inconvenient or unpopular. Brown provides a list of potential values and encourages leaders to narrow their focus to 2 guiding values. Once values are defined, leaders must operationalize them by turning abstract ideals into actionable behaviors. For example, if a leader values creativity, they might encourage brainstorming sessions, reward innovative ideas, and create a culture where experimentation is celebrated. Living into one's values builds credibility and inspires others to do the same. The courage to rise after failure. No leadership journey is without setbacks, and Brown dedicates a significant portion of the book to developing resilience. She introduces the Rising Strong process, a framework for recovering from failure. 1. The reckoning, recognizing and owning difficult emotions. 2. The rumble, exploring the story we tell ourselves about the failure and challenging its accuracy. 3. The revolution, using the lessons learned to change behaviors and approach future challenges with greater clarity. Brown emphasizes that failure is an inevitable part of courageous leadership. Leaders who learn to rise after failure build stronger teams and foster a culture where risk-taking is embraced. Creating a culture of courage. The ultimate goal of Dare to Lead is to help leaders build organizations where courage and vulnerability are the norm. Brown provides practical strategies for creating such cultures, including encouraging open, honest communication, normalizing discomfort as part of growth, celebrating small wins and incremental progress, prioritizing empathy by understanding and addressing team members' emotions. Leaders must also address the barriers to courage, such as perfectionism, fear of failure, and unhealthy competition. By cultivating self-awareness and modeling courageous behaviors, leaders can dismantle these barriers and create environments where people feel safe to innovate, collaborate, and grow. Key takeaways for leaders. 1. Courage is teachable. Leadership requires the willingness to be vulnerable, take risks, and engage in difficult conversations. 2. Vulnerability fosters trust. Leaders who show up authentically build stronger connections and more resilient teams. 3. Values guide leadership. Defining and living into core values ensures consistency and credibility. 4. Failure is an opportunity to grow. Leaders must model resilience and encourage their teams to learn from mistakes. 5. Trust is the foundation of effective teams. Building trust requires clear communication, accountability, and integrity. Conclusion: Dare to Lead is a powerful call to action for leaders to reimagine what it means to lead. Brown's insights challenge conventional leadership paradigms and emphasize the human side of leadership. At its heart, the book is about daring to be vulnerable, courageous, and authentic in the pursuit of meaningful change. Leaders who embrace these principles not only achieve better outcomes, but also create workplaces where people feel valued, connected, and inspired to do their best work.